I've been eating breakfast every day for the past 7 days. I'm really proud of myself.
The Epstein files don't matter.
I'm sure you're reading that title and immediately not seeing the quotation marks. I'm quoting somebody, but I want you to just type out your anger in the comments at me. You're more than welcome to direct it at me. I don't care. Reason I put this title in there is because I want to talk about a phenomenon that I'm seeing over the 3.5 million documents. That's a big number. You probably can't even conceptualize that because I read through 127 of them and I couldn't conceptualize that took me over 40 minutes to read 127 pages, and I realized that I'm a very slow reader. On the Joe Rogan podcast, I believe it was number 2447, G Willikers, we gotta stop podcast men. Two very dangerously bald men, Mike Benz right here, and Joe Rogan are talking about the Epstein files. Now, I could include clips of their conversation, but I don't want to get copyright strike by two very dangerously bald men with my full luscious locks of hair on my head. I did what no sane man should do on a Monday afternoon, and I read through the entirety of the YouTube comments, and I saw a bunch of people defending Joe Rogan and defending Mike Benz, saying, well, we really don't know what's actually in the Epstein files, and we actually don't know the full context of the Epstein files, and a bunch of people just wildly defending it. Now, these are not in the top comments. I have to dig through the trenches, but I am noticing a very prolific base of people trying to defend the Epstein files, and I had assumed for some reason we were all on the same side. And so I make the statement, I make the claim the Epstein files don't really matter. I'd like to tell you and regale you with a tale if I could, please. So I don't think the vocal minority actively attributes to the average person who thinks the Epstein files are repulsive. I would say 80% of the American people think the Epstein files are repulsive, but 20%, I want you to remember these percent numbers. 20% of people, I'd say, are staunch defenders because they feel like they can get close to the 1%. So that 20% are very vocal. They talk a lot. They speak in leaps and bounds. They have conversations with a bunch of people. That's what they do. They just keep talking and they keep trying to push the narrative that, maybe the Epstein files weren't that bad. We have Nick Fuentes actually saying Epstein was a cool guy, who was the most radical, ridiculous person I've ever seen in my entire life. We have Steven Crowder, who by all means is actually went on record defending Trump and the Epstein files multiple times, which is crazy. And these are big, gigantic personalities. These to me are what I would consider the 20% of people and their fan base, and they're trying to levy the fan base to go against who they deem as the woke left, which is basically anybody that disagrees with them. Now that we've got that context out the way, that I'm not stupid, I'd like to regale you with a tale now. When I was younger, my dream was to cause nuclear winter. Now it sounds crazy to say that. I know it's nuts, but I thought that I could use, the old Code Geass method, everybody against me, so that we all had one common enemy that would bring the world together. That was my thought process. That's all I wanted. Just one simple rule, one simple goal, one simple dream. But then I realized something. The only reason I don't do this plan now is because of one person. Donald Trump. That's it. Only reason I don't do this plan is because of him. Donald Trump, to me, is evil personified. He is deeply a wildly evil human being, but it doesn't matter because he's charismatic. He's very charismatic, and I'm not asking you to say, oh, I don't think he's charismatic. I'm not asking your opinion. I'm telling you an objective fact to a lot of people. Donald Trump is charismatic. He can lead a bunch of people to do whatever he wants to. He feels like he can do whatever he wants to. He sounds confident. He'd be a perfect drag queen or a streamer. He is a perfect influencer. He was famous in Hollywood and understands how the machine works. He can get away with whatever he wants to because he fearmongers, and that is how he operates. It is a very smart tactic. Is it morally correct?
No.
Is it a good tactic?
Not righteously.
But it's good because it works, and because Donald Trump did this, I completely dropped my idea for nuclear winter because I'm sure I would have a bunch of acolytes or psychopaths that would follow me saying that I did something good, which is crazy. I was trying to become the world's enemy and it wouldn't work. I now discovered this plan is stupid, and this is a big reason why I say the Epstein files don't matter, because of the staunch amount of people that are defending them, trying to drown out anybody else. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is anything new. I'm not going to act like that. The truth is out. It's been collaborated, notarized, left on the table. And the most soul-crushing lesson is this. Exposure is not a crisis for power. It's not. It's not at all. In any capacity. They could tell us that every day they go out and kick 30 babies out into a soccer field, and then they, as they're flying through the air in a spiral motion, they pull out the old shotgun and hit them with the sawed off, and any pellet that hits the baby, boom, it calms down, and then it calms down, and then everything they decide if they're going to give out welfare that day for every baby that gets destroyed. They could tell us that, and people would say, that's kind of funny. How fast is the baby spinning? They could tell us that right to our face, and it doesn't matter. The machine that functions is not afraid of light. They control the climate. They control everything. They control whatever it is. We have perfected a society that can ingest autocracy, metabolize it into content, and excrete it into a historical footnote, all without missing any earnings calls because they're still going to make money. The documents exist. They're precise. They're damning. They're voluminous. They're crazy. There's 3.5 million. And their primary effect is to demonstrate how efficiently horror can be shown. Just shown to us, and we do nothing. How screams, all of it, every single bit of it, all the victims, all the people can be translated into legalese and neutralized by the efficient, lovely procedure of the American justice system. That's what's happening. You don't need veils to hide evil. You don't. Evil doesn't require darkness because it runs the time of day all the time. That's what happens. It does everything. The clock always runs on outrage, on attention, on the fragile human will to sustain collective grief. We are ruled by entities that have made a cold calculus of suffering, a ledger where certain lives are tolerable. Line item lost. That's what happens. Think of every suffering you've seen, all the nonsense you've seen. Think about all the people that will defend the actions of the worst groups on earth. Think about that. Think of the rise of Germany's darkest part of history and how that's coming common now because we're overusing the term for everybody. Think of it. Think of how it's happening. The public fury that follows each revelation, it's predictable, manageable. It's easy because nobody does anything realistic. They don't. It proves their thesis that we are creatures of imperfect passion. We suck, easily fragmented, expertly turned against each other. Fear is a function of consequence, and consequence requires a unity we have been meticulously engineered to find impossible. There is no unity amongst my fellow man because it doesn't exist online. You see, in person, I can have a conversation with anybody. I can talk to you, me, Zabumafu, Goobagoo, Labadoo. I can talk to Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. I can talk to Stanley. I can talk to Cal Yu. I can talk to anybody on the planet. I can talk to all these people. But guess what? Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter if I can talk to them in person because I need to speak to people online. But there's going to be one person that's going to say, well, actually, I think you're wrong. And that negativity bias, people love feeding on negativity. So they interact with that one negative person, ignore the positive comments. Same way I saw in that Joe Rogan video, they interacted with the negative one. That's what happens. It sucks. When every single obscenity that I've seen in the Epstein files is just becoming a piece of consumable media. It's debated, memed, slided between ads. The message is clear. Seeing is not believing. It is just seeing. And the big people up top have built a world where seeing changes nothing. Because we have the proof. What are we going to do with it? What's going to happen? We can talk about it. See all those drama channels making hundreds of videos about it. People asking me, you should talk about the Epstein files. You should talk about the Epstein files. I'd love to. But what's that going to change? It's going to get me, 100,000 views? Maybe? Give me like $400 from YouTube? Great, I'd love that. That'd be amazing. But I would like to actually invoke real change, and I'd like to tell you. That's why I put this very, very, very performative title. The Epstein files don't matter. That's why I put that. Put it in quotations so nobody gets really confused, and I could have a scapegoat out just in case somebody calls me out on it because I'm a coward. Manipulation tactics, baby. I want you to watch the political cycle. Nobody's talking about it right now. Nobody's gonna really talk about it. Watch as the defense mobilize. Watch it. Watch as this primal ideological self-preservation comes. To accept the monstrous scale laid bare in these files is to surrender a foundational fairy tale. It sucks, right? The system is not working. Success correlates with virtue is the mindset that most people have. They think Elon Musk is virtuous because he has a bunch of money. And not you. I'm talking about the average person. That the people at the helm are there because they are good. Or the smart. It doesn't matter. They say that, well, he wouldn't be at the top if he wasn't smart. He wouldn't be at the top if he wasn't a good person. Money goes to the people that are good. And anybody that's poor is a bad person. That's the mindset that gets propagated throughout the media and turned into the mill over and over and over again. It's the disgusting mindset. The virtue that every homeless person is there by their own choice. Every rich person is there because they made the right investments, right decisions. They didn't exploit anybody. They just were chosen God's people. That's what they think. It's disgusting. Wanna know why they don't do it? Wanna know why the people defend these rich people so much? Because if they admit the truth, that would mean the world is not a game. It's not a just game that matters. That's what hurts them so much. The world is a rigged casino where the House always wins. The House, the Senate, and Congress always win. Morality is not on the casino menu. That cognitive dissonance between, oh, I worked hard but nothing happened, I must be a bad person, that cognitive dissonance is so terrifying that it is easier to dismiss the mountain of evidence than it is to dismantle the entire landscape of your self-justification. It sucks. And they're not going to do it because it doesn't provide them anything. Race, class, ideology, they are the glittering trinkets we are given to fight over in the pit. So we do all the time, every single moment. The class architects watch from the balconies, looking down at us, feeding on the scraps. And it doesn't matter what race they are up top there. They don't care that much. But they do. They do. They do. They do care. Because, oh, see, this black person became rich and powerful. You guys can do it too. And it keeps the black people fighting each other. Oh, this rich white guy got really big and famous. And he's from Africa. Elon Musk. Boom. You keep fighting each other. Look at that. Another fight. And they love it. We have 3.5 million, an overwhelming load-bearing amount of evidence that people are using to justify even crazier theories, mind you. People saying we're in the Matrix, people saying nonsense. We have all this evidence and we are not choosing to collectively look up. We are trained to see our neighbor as the enemy, the one stealing your job, your status, your safety, so the focus never consolidates on the true source of the theft. Solidarity is diagnosed as a contagion the moment it threatens the bottom line. This division is the operating system of our entire country, because a people united is stronger than a people divided, and a people divided will ultimately be the main proprietor, the main thing they want, as opposed to a people united. That's how it works, and it sucks. I've witnessed this myth over my entire life, this eventual arrival. If you just endure a little longer, hustle a little harder, little bit, you will cross the threshold and become one of them, one of the big ones. That's never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. This fantasy everyone turns into, the American dream fantasy, that we can be at the top too, we can have the Lambos, Lamborghinis, all this stuff. You know, rich people don't buy Gucci. Are you aware of that? Rich people don't buy Gucci or Supreme. You ever see Donald Trump in a Supreme shirt? No, that doesn't happen. That's not real. It's not a real thing. They defend the very mechanisms that grind them down, because to attack the system is to destroy the dream of their future membership within it. That's what it is. This weird psychological trap of exquisite cruelty, convincing people to protect their cage because they believe it is merely a waiting room. That is why I know with my whole chest, the Epstein files, despite us getting so many of them right now, don't matter. Every day I hear so many people say, well, wealth is wisdom. They say it in so many different ways. I listen to Elon Musk because he's wealthy. Donald Trump is a powerful man. I listen to them. I listen to people say, well, I'm listening to this big influencer because he has a big number, a big following, big number. People must listen to him for a reason. You may not click on a YouTube video if it doesn't have a big enough view count, because you're stupid. That's why. That's it. That's the only reason. It's because you're dumb. You are dumb. I'm not saying this to boost my own videos. Why I'm a hidden gem under the thing. I mean that you follow the herd every single time. A large bank account is empirical proof of intelligence, moral clarity, and correct judgment. A big enough number is moral proof that they are doing fantastic. This weird alchemy transforms this predatory self-interest into visionary guidance, and silent complicity into dignified neutrality. It's disgusting. I hate it. It allows monstrosities to dress itself in bespoke suits and be interviewed about disruption and philanthropy and, oh, what are you doing for the world? This is there. But we listen to the ravings of billionaires about society as if they are oracles. Why? Why do we do this? They're merely annotating the blueprints of the maze they built for their own profit. They built the systems of exploitation, and we see that now. We see how they think about us, how they view us as weak, as cattle, as food. The amount of nonsense I've seen in the Epstein files is disgusting. It makes my stomach churn, but you didn't need to tell me this. I already knew it. And if it takes these Epstein files to finally get some people to wake up, I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy about it. It's great.
right?
The files are going to sit. The evidence is going to reach the statute of limitations. The powerful names written in it will be softened by time, rehabilitated by legacy profiles, or buried by the next fresher outrage, whatever it may be. Maybe it's going to be black people. Oh, I'm hoping it's Mexican people. Bad Bunny Super Bowl stuff. Who knows? The system does not collapse under the weight of the truth. It never has, and it never will. It will digest this truth, incorporate this scandal into its history, a dark chapter in the biography of an institution that endures. The most chilling realization is not that there are monsters. It is that the monsters have learned that we are no longer capable of making a monster afraid. I was recently watching It, the clown It, the movie, and Pennywise at the end of It chapter 2 is weak. He's very weak. He's a very weak creature, because if you stand up to the fear, Pennywise doesn't know what to do. And I view Pennywise as a great allegory towards the top. Despite how powerful and otherworldly and fourth dimensional It, the creature, is, it still loses. They have seen our cycle. The brief flare of rage, the fractalization into arguments, the retreats into numb consumption. They have endured our truth. They have found it bearable. We have given them the greatest gift of all, the certainty that nothing will change. And in that certainty, they find the peace to sleep soundly while we lie awake, staring at the facts. In a prison whose bars are made of our own redesigned disbelief. This is disgusting. I am so pissed. But I'm not going to leave you hopeless here. I'm going to tell you what you can do. A much more reasonable person would tell you, well, we got to have reforms, and we got to go through the law, and we got to have a bill, and we got to have a practices. I'm not going to tell you to do that worthless stuff, because it has never gotten you anywhere, and I'm not going to it's worthless. That's completely worthless, and I genuinely mean that with my whole chest. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I need you to forge a new machine. The boots on your neck exists only because the body beneath it has not yet decided to stand up. It is not anchored by divine rights or superior strength. It is held in place by gravity of a different kind. It's the gravity of your own stillness. You are your biggest enemy. And I'm not saying personal accountability. No, I'm saying because you're weak and you follow the herd and you won't click on a YouTube video unless it has maybe 10,000 views, 20,000 views, you will see a crowd and you'll wonder where the mob is going. I need someone to start that crowd, even if I have to do it. I may do it. Who knows? Our own scattered attention, our own learned consent to the lie that its tools are sacred and the rules are untouchable. They are not. They are levers and pulleys optimized for extraction, and anything optimized can be re-engineered. Literally, I work on computers. I know this. Organization, communication, collective refusal, strategic pressure. I often talk about how the left is very disorganized and scattered because you want to jump to every single thing and call everything Frankenstein's monster without actually attacking Victor Frankenstein. I say this critique every single day because that's how I view the left. You guys are disorganized and don't know which to attack first. We gotta go to McDonald's. We gotta attack Hallmark, we gotta attack this. Focus on one thing. Right now, we all should collectively focus on one thing. That would make things so much easier. It will make us feel less drained and stressed. These are not forbidden arts. They are neutral tools we have been gaslit into believing are the sole proprietor of our jailers. The moment we reclaim them is the moment the architecture of control is revealed as drywall. That is what I need to show you. That is what I need to do. Release the veil. 1%. 1%. Actually, you know what's crazy? It's not even 1%. It's much less than 1%. It's like 0.1%. It's way less than 1%. They are few. We are the everything else. That's what we are, the everything else. Their wealth is nothing. It's the audit trail of theft, a pile of insulation against the cold they know they deserve. Do not mistake their insulation for invincibility. What they truly fear isn't your angry tweets or your very organized letter or you going to make a bill or calling your senator. They fear your organized neighbor, your coordinated silence. Your individual exhaustion sucks. However, and this is very important, the collective ungovernable energy of a group, you could ruin the entire system. You could. 1%. I want you to let the arithmetic of liberation ring in your skull. I want you to let this happen. 1%, this rounding error, stain this 1% upon the entire 100%, the 1%. the whisper trying to command the hurricane that we are, this 1%. Their power is a parasitic logic, dependent entirely on the host body. We are the host body. Us. Believing the parasite is the source of its own strength. The moment we metabolize the truth, parasite dies. The fever breaks. The fear you feel is not yours. To the people on the right that may have stuck around for this video, that fear you feel towards that trans person or that gay person, that's not your fear. To the people on the left, you fear towards that conservative, that's not your fear. To the centrist that doesn't shut up and says both sides are equal, you suck too. All of you suck. Everybody collectively is just a worthless pile of mush. That's good, because you're all individuals, and you care so much about being the individual that you forget that collectively, we are invincible. That fear was implanted, a carefully manufactured product delivered through screens that screen chaos, bosses who trade security for obedience, debts that make you feel like moral failures, all of it over and over again, pushing you. They taught you that isolation is independence and that exhaustion is a personal limit. No, that fear dissolves in the acid of shared recognition. And the current that flows when you remember the person next to you is not a competitor for scraps. They're also a prisoner with locks too. Same as you, we are all bound by the same chains of oppression. We are all bound by the same thing. And I will not police you. I will not tell you your justifications are wrong. I will tell you, please stand with me. Please, I beg of you. We can do this. We have so much strength. Oh my God, we are so strong. We are so strong. We are so strong. Please, we are. The longer a video is on YouTube, the more money I get. Because attention is a currency they value the most. The more time you waste, the less time you have for other things. Hence why a lot of people get paid a lot for longer videos. That's what happens. That's why people put so much effort into maintaining your attention. Oh, it's so good. You have to apply pressure at the pillars. Starve the rituals of your participation. I would encourage you to click off this video, actually. I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to do more than that. But I'm trying to give you some information so you can decide if you want to do whatever you want to. Mutual aid, shared knowledge, local power, cells of the future growing in the petri dish of the present. We can do that. We can do that. This is not beyond reform as anarchy. It is not. It is beyond reform as a sucker's bet. It is the precise, desperate understanding that you cannot negotiate with a virus for only half the infection. That's what's happening right now. Ripping the script from their hands and writing a new one in a language they have no dictionary for. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are Beowulf. You are not this big mythic invulnerability. The raw, bleeding persistence that shows up anyway again and again to face the beast. You are Atlas, holding up the world. You didn't choose this. You can choose to set it down, or better, to reshape it. You are Zeus. I don't mean some petty king of the mountain that's loose at everybody, because that's what Zeus is. You are lightning itself. Unpredictable, undeniable. A force that cleaves through the sky and illuminates the truth in a single terrifying flash. You can do this. You are star stuff, man. We're made of stars. Momentary, condensed into a miracle of consciousness with hands that can build, a voice that can harmonize, and a memory that can refuse to forget. So be human. Be gloriously, messily, stubbornly human. Be loud in your truth. Be coordinated in your action. Be ruthless with systems that feed on pain. Be endlessly kind to the fellow humans navigating the same wreckage, because I'm 100% positive they are scared. And I know some worthless idiot is going to comment, I'm not being friends with people that you are stupid. You are stupid. Please, I beg of you to stop being an idiot for 5 minutes. 5 whole minutes. Stop being dumb. If you want to spend your entire life trying to kill Frankenstein's monster, I cannot stop you. I can't. But if you want to stand with me, liberal, conservative, the most annoying person, the centrist, if you wish to stand with me, left, right, up, down, quarter circle, forward, actually not the up, only down, the bottom line, people in poverty stricken, the dumb hoteps, the Hebrew Israelites, all you people collectively, the ones standing against the top, if you want to help, I am here. They are 1%, a sliver, a decimal point. You are the mass. It's what you are. And mass, when it is finally moving in unison, creates a force called momentum. right? And momentum, dear God, momentum moves. Doesn't ask to move, it just does. It changes what is possible. Pick up your tool. The anvil is waiting. The furnace is hot. I'm ready for the swords. I'm ready for the weapons. I'm ready for it all. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Please do not let the quote that I put in this video matter. The Epstein files matter. Because they should be the liberation bell, the throngs for Ragnarok. I need you to fight. I need you to be here. I need you. You need me. And you need your neighbor. And you need who you think is an illegal immigrant. And you need that conservative, the conservatives. You need that liberal and centrist. Shut up. I need you all. I need you. Because this is disgusting. What I read in those files was horrifying and evil. And it shook me to my core. It's nasty. I didn't need to read it to know that was going on, but reading it reaffirmed my convictions and my beliefs about how horrible and evil this entire world is and how messed up it is. It's nasty. We have allowed it to persist for too long. We have a tool that is able to talk to everybody at once, all together, collectively. We have that. We can do it. We can do it. We, W-E, us, can do it. Thank you, and goodbye.
I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel, slow. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you're free.